You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show.
I was waiting for the music. Bing is for doing, and we are doing. My mind is blown from this Pretty Little Liars episode. It's the Pretty Little Liars after show. Now you see me, now you don't. It's the summer finale, and oh my gosh.
We're all in shock.
Oh my gosh, I'm still in shock.
I think we're still recovering from the episode.
The little 5-minute intermission is not long enough.
Yeah.
It's not.
And it definitely lived up to like their expectations all season long. We've been hearing like the finale is the thing that is going to change everything, and it changes everything.
It absolutely did. I am your host, Kelly, and
I'm Stephanie Wenger. Hi, guys.
Hi, you guys. Whitney Lane.
Hi, guys. Emma Kostandyan.
we're all here. It's the 4 of us. And, oh my gosh. Ezra is
Ezra.
Okay, now who's Team Ezra? Okay,
Right.
I want a show of hands right here.
I was Team Ezra. Admittedly, everyone who watches our show knows it for the entire time. I think we have mentioned that we thought there was an outside possibility, I did, that he was involved in some capacity. He seemed too nice, but I really wanted that relationship to work, and I'm just personally devastated. So if you are too, you can tweet me, because I'm feeling very sad right now.
Well, we have talked about it, especially with the last Halloween episode. How did he end up on the train so quickly? Where did he come from? He always seems to be at the right place at the right time. He's definitely way too involved with the girls and always trying to be like right there. So I know, and then at the diner, remember, we thought we saw his reflection in like the napkin tin or whatever it was, but
He's everywhere.
he is
Which
everywhere.
is just so weird to think that he's the man, the older guy that was having a relationship with Allie.
Well, for them, he is older.
I know.
Especially
That's what I'm saying, though, that he's the one.
But
So who's
and
board
dating
shorts?
his-
Was he board shorts, just blonde?
he could have been board shorts back in the day.
But they showed the picture of him, and it didn't look like him.
Well, that was Wilden.
That was
But wasn't he like in that picture though? Wasn't it in one of those pictures that we had seen before that was on the pegboard? He wasn't one of those.
No, I don't think we've ever
okay.
seen the face. I think it's just board shorts. The older guy.
Just from
which
the diary, right?
Obviously, Cece knew because it dates way back to then.
Yeah.
So no wonder they've been working together.
And what
Girlfriend, your leg's broken. How you running away from that? First of all, cannot.
And we jokingly said, I think, in an earlier episode that we were like, oh, maybe he's into one of the other girls. And we're like, no, he's just using them to get back to Arya. But now you have to wonder, like, was he after all these young girls? Is that why he became a teacher? There's so many questions now. It makes you question everything about him.
And I keep on saying it every episode, how it's a generational thing. But what sticks out and what's been, in my mind is in one of those episodes where I see him. It's a flashback, and this is probably last season. It was a flashback to Arya visiting her dad at work at the university, and Ezra is right there. Out of all the people, we haven't seen any flashbacks of anyone back in the days, but Ezra is the only one, and that's why it was always in my mind, like, there has to be a connection. Why would they have a flashback to Ezra in school and the way he looked at Arya when she was passing by? I'm going to go see what episode it was, and I'm going to tweet you guys.
Yeah.
It's just too creepy.
Interesting. I don't know. Well, and then how does the whole Malcolm situation play in? Like, do you think Maggie was part of that team as well, working with him and just wanted out and took off? Like, I wonder what her involvement was.
Right.
And that whole situation just seems kind of out of...
Because that's what brought Arya back to him.
Right. So I wonder if it was a plan.
I don't think so, because that's what took Arya away. So do you think he wanted Arya away, or maybe he needed some space to
He might have
plan?
needed some space. I don't know. If he's really, if he's as we just saw, super calculated, knows everything, definitely puts people in the places they need to be. But why is he so obsessed with Ashley? Like, why does he want Ashley to be in jail?
I think he's just after the girls. Yeah, any way to get
Allie to come back.
The girls had nothing to do with him ever. They're just friends with Allie's. Like, they never knew about him. Leave him alone. Grow up, you school teacher dating young children.
Maybe he didn't realize that, they didn't know about him and they thought that he was like dividing, like that the girls wanted Allie to be part of their group and not to be with him. Like
there was never that much though. I mean, they would have told us that. I feel like they recently found out about this guy she was dating. They never knew.
No, but maybe he
doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So he's been, keeping Arya close to get information and to see, how much she knows. And he seemed like really interested for, an older guy that would just sit there and hear fairy tales, what seems to be fairy tales coming from a high school teenage girl, and just sit there and listen like it was okay with him.
Yeah, it's really odd. Do you think that he had true feelings for Cece, though, or was he using Cece for something else? Allie, sorry. Excuse me.
I don't know. Like, what's the fixation? Like that's the part that doesn't mix.
So was
with.
Allie pregnant by him or Wilden?
Oh, just the can of worms that continue to open.
Maybe she's been away because she had a kid. And she's been raising a child.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good twist, for sure. And maybe that's his real son.
Daughter, son.
Son, daughter, yeah. I don't know. I'm still...
Well, I'm also very skeptical about Wren and Melissa and where they come into play, because we just see a mailing going out to them from Shauna.
Well, aren't they the same age as Ezra? Mm-hmm. So they all probably went to school together in some way, shape, or form and hung out. But why would they be so tight-lipped about? I mean, are they really that scared of him?
I'm so confused.
Do you think they know it's him? I think maybe.
Well, if Cece's getting paid, like at least she would have to. Like she obviously knows who it was. Like it's him because she was at his door. Last week.
I thought he never got money from his family, his rich family.
But
how did he afford to do all of this in the first place?
Also, they mentioned that he set up a corporation.
Right.
So in theory, even though she was at his door, so we would have to assume that she did in fact know it was him. Mm-hmm. Like he could just be sending money from the corporation, and you don't know that it.
But if they all hung out together, then they had to know that Allie was messing around with him because they were all there together.
Well, Cece and Wilden were, yeah.
Yeah, so they would have had to know.
So do you think he killed Wilden?
I mean, we've seen his violent side.
Yeah, right.
With
He definitely was the one that beat up that car.
Yeah,
totally.
I wanted to not believe it. I'm just still.
I'm surprised they never actually came back to that and even mentioned it again. Yeah. It was just, I guess you just know.
Yeah, I mean, now it's assumed that that's the case.
Well, let's go back to kind of the beginning.
All right, so we get
our way through it.
We get the gifts at the doorstep.
Weird. A cat is just chilling in the background.
Where are again, and we say this every week, how is Spencer's mom not walking down? Like, what the hell? Why is there a casket in my living room?
She's such a great lawyer that she has no idea that these things are being sent to her daughter. She doesn't pick up on any of these clues.
No, nothing. It's just sad. Out in the living room, hanging out with the magic. The magic box with the saw and the magic 8 balls and
lawyer of the year right there, obviously.
She's busy with her high-profile cases. She doesn't have time.
Creepy gifts, which make them care about Mona and her potentially dying soon, so they think.
Yeah, so Mona's not at Radley anymore. And they won't tell the girls where she's gone.
Doesn't show up for the French club, her homecoming.
Yeah, we find out she's at the River Valley Inn, or bed and breakfast.
And Shauna's visiting.
And Shauna has Jenna's car, so where's Jenna?
And when she walked up, she said, "Is she okay with this?" or something. And Shauna said, "Well, she has to be."
So I wonder who the she is. Is it Cece?
Melissa.
Is it Melissa?
And now they're working together somehow.
Or maybe they always were.
Man, I mean, we really don't know
Or maybe
anything.
Mona just found a way to blackmail them now they have to give in some information.
Well, I don't think, and I know we had talked about this before, that Mona was ever really all the way back to the other side anyway. Like, we knew she was kind of playing both sides a little bit, so maybe this is just kind of
Have we ever seen Mona and Ezra interact? I can't think of a time that they did. So was she working with Melissa, and then they were like? I just need to know all these connections now.
Well, remember Mona? Well, if we believe Mona, which is hard to do, she's always said that she didn't know who it was.
She didn't know who Redcoat was, and now we find out there's two.
Mm-hmm. That she didn't know who Redcoat was. That she only took orders. Like, she didn't know who was actually giving them. So, but what's the whole thing too with Toby's mom? Like, why is Ezra involved in that?
Why does he care about all of this? Ezra, like, why? You are a teacher.
Well, I kind of feel like maybe it's two different mixed messages coming in. Mona turning herself in might not have been from Ezra. I think it might have been from Allie trying to help the girls out. So I think we have to go back and really figure out which one was Allie sending the messages and which one was Ezra.
Well, so we're believing Allie's alive.
So
at this point, yes, that's the consensus, right?
Just because Mrs. Grunwald said she feels her.
Well, not only that, but we saw the two redcoats. She took them to A's lair. She stopped the saw, and if you remember, as we go back, all of this redcoat stuff.
Stopped the saw.
No, Cece didn't.
No,
Cece was above.
Cece was above.
Yeah.
So I think there's always been a good and a bad.
Mm-hmm. Like helping them out at the fire.
Pulling them out of the fire. Yeah. I think she was always like one step behind, but with the masks and following and making sure nothing too bad happened without having to reveal herself. That's what it seems like to me now.
Mm-hmm.
That Cece, and it's kind of like the way that Mrs. De Laurentiis had described it, like the two personalities trying to be part of each other, and that's the redcoat split in two.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Well, we do see Miss Grunwald pull her up out of the dirt. That was so weird because we've seen the hand before.
Yes,
didn't know who it belonged to.
Yeah. So now the big question is, whose body did they find, and whose funeral did they go to?
Is there a twin?
And they found this body like 3 times. It's been like tossed around here, there, and everywhere. Like, whose body?
But they didn't have an
this?
open casket funeral, right? I don't
No,
remember.
but they've dug up her. I mean, there is some body that
somebody's
was
there.
Yeah.
They found remains. They dug up this body. Like, there's something there.
But you can't really distinguish who it is after being in the dirt, you know. So, it
well, no, there's DNA, the test they could do. They just never did. They just always figured it was her.
Well, these idiots at the police department, we already know. They don't know much.
Fire all of them.
Yeah. Goodness.
So
hire Ezra.
Although we found out a big reveal tonight, there's still so many more questions that go along with it. Like, how does it all fit? There's so many strands of this.
I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it right now. Like, I really am, like, there's so many scenarios going on in my head.
Yeah.
It's very hard to even think about what could be.
That's what everyone on Twitter today was saying, that this episode was all about, like, we got this huge reveal, but it really is just opening a whole nother set of questions. And that's what they do so well on the show, is that every season finale we're like, yes, we have one more tidbit, but then it opens up a whole new angle that, you know, will take an entire season to unravel.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at least Ashley's free now.
For now.
For now,
Ashley's free, and it seems
Travis came through.
Yes, but I don't know. I'm still skeptical about that kid too.
Oh yes.
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I don't know about all that. I wonder how.
The only one
long
I
that'll
believe in
last.
is Caleb. Not even Toby.
Is that how he gets stuck in Ravenswood? They leave him there because they forget that he's on his way.
It's because he's on that bus and something happens on that bus.
Exactly.
And then a time warps and he's stuck there, that old little bus.
Or he just settles in because now they know where A's headquarters are. So he stays there to try to get some way into the computer hack or follow or do something.
I know, it's
But then again, we can't trust anyone, you guys. Don't even think that you like Caleb, because he could be the next day.
Yeah,
Team Jacob.
well, we're seeing
For now.
in an earlier episode of this, I know we have talked about that would all the guys turn, and we're seeing that Toby turned at one point, kind of. We think as far as we know now, our Ezra is A. Like, how many of these guys are going to turn on these girls before it's all over.
And it's also really interesting to me how Jake falls asleep and wants to go home, letting Arya out of the date so she can go and meet up with Ezra at the coffee house.
Oh, I told you. You watch out for Jake.
No, it was boring. Are you kidding me? They're watching a black and white movie.
Drink some coffee, wake up. Does he really need the rest?
It also shows they don't have anything in common.
He's Jet Li. What do you mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of staying there to protect her, or even just staying there just to be with her, to hang out.
There's the reason he left.
He left.
Well, I mean, they have nothing in common. She calls to say, let's go to the poetry reading, which Ezra's there.
Exactly.
No, why don't we do something else? So they do dinner and a movie. He falls asleep because she's watching a black and white film. And he's like, you know what? I just need to go get some rest. So she goes to the poetry meeting, or poetry reading, which is where Ezra is, and they kiss. You see the kiss. She just goes for it. And you're like, everything has completely shifted once again. But yeah, I don't think Jake and Arya have anything in common. I've always wondered about that dude.
I also think as boring as the date you may think the date was, like, if it's going well and you have chemistry with someone, you're gonna stick around.
You want to hang out.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to go home.
They should have gone dancing.
True story. True story.
Oh no.
Now I'm like thinking back and I'm like imagining or remembering when Ezra was so frustrated and worried and he looked like crap. I just think he didn't have any connection
What do you mean?
to the girls and what they were doing. If they were
post Maggie.
post Maggie, and if they were one step ahead of him, or he didn't have any information on the girls and what was really going on. So I think that might have been stressing him out, and the fact that Allie was getting closer.
Maybe.
I'm in shock right now. Still, I just can't wrap my head around Ezra and Allie.
Well, what do we think? Okay, so the girls get these gifts. They start putting pieces together, start trying to figure out these clues. They're trying to figure out if there's a magic shop in town or where this magic box would have come from. And Arya sees the flyer for this the Great Charlemagne in Ravenswood that's actually coincidentally having a show that day. So they head over there to go check it out. And this mime is putting on a magic show, and we actually got tweeted a photo from one of our followers. So thank you so much for that. That, you know, with a question, could that be Allie? Does it look like Allie? And when you look at it, like the facial features, it's very similar. That could have been Allie.
Such a good catch on our Twitter followers' part, because when I saw her moving more, or the mime moving around, I kind of could see Allie in it. But with the paused photo, it was definitely harder to tell, at least for me. So.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, too, because we read, in the synopsis of the episode that one of the girls disappears. So I'm like, well, there goes Arya. She's about to go into this box, Yeah. But really, while that's happening and they're focused on her, there goes Emily.
I wonder what
Ezra did?
What Ezra has against Emily. If you think about it, she's been one of the most
Well, she went off at him, remember?
That's true. I mean, about their relationship, but...
about her life being hard and, about the whole recommendation letter. And he's like, Emily, there's, far worse things in life.
Yeah, but she was also in the lighthouse in a previous, she's been really one of the more I guess they've all been targeted, you can say, but I feel like physically she's
maybe
been the most
because
harmed.
she's the one that used to mess around with Allie.
It's true.
They had a thing, and even Mrs. De Laurentiis alludes to it, that, she knows that Emily, that they had that special relationship and that Emily really loved her.
Right.
So maybe he's just always been jealous of her because she had Allie's attention in a way that he obviously didn't.
Right.
So maybe that's
a
why
good one.
this poor Emily gets all of this.
Man, though, if I were her in that box and you hear that saw coming at you,
terrifying,
claustrophobic, you can't get out.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I mean, but why didn't they just go and turn it off before they tried to open the box?
I don't know.
That's too easy. It has to be more dramatic. No, but I mean, when you're in I can't imagine being in that kind of a situation. I'd panic. I'd probably freeze. You don't know what to do.
It's done.
So luckily she was safe.
Had her phone.
The redcoat we believe to be Allie turned off the saw, and they got her out, and she was okay. But she does seem to get a lot of the brunt of the attacks on her. Poor Emily.
I'm so proud of Arya for using Jake's moves on.
Yes, she did. Let's talk about her self-defense.
For once, they don't run away from this person. She went for it. She's kicking her in the face. She's got. I loved it. And then she tried to save her.
She got strong. She grabbed her when she fell. She was holding on to her.
But that couldn't have been that far of a fall either, was it? She obviously got back up and kept going, even though her leg was crooked. I was like,
it was kind of like a loft. It wasn't really even a second story. It was kind of a loft.
Yeah, I don't think it was, but it was, I mean, I'm sure it didn't feel good, but I don't think it was a deadly fall.
Yeah. No, but, Aria, she tried to save her.
Well, she panicked in the beginning during the magic show where she's like, take her, she loves magic.
I would have too. Yeah. You're so skeptical of every single person. I'd be like, I'm not getting in that box.
I actually thought when they turned the box in, the reveal it was going to be Mona. I was expecting Mona to come out.
We didn't really see much of Mona, even though they were looking for her the whole time.
Just, the one quick scene with her and Shauna.
But seems like she's in hiding as well.
Yeah.
Man.
But I just wonder why everybody's so scared of Cece. Well, I guess because she's just acting out whatever wants to do.
I mean, it's because she seems to almost be a partner to Ezra.
Partner that's being framed for killing Wilden, potentially.
Yeah, she's
Ezra probably doesn't trust her. He's still framing her, I think, at the same time as he's trying to figure all this out with the girls.
An intense episode.
What I want to know is why Miss Grunwald,
yes,
the sorority mom, alluded to the fact that Allie didn't trust the girls. That's why she didn't come to them for help and reveal herself.
Well, because in the very beginning, and this is one thing that's always been very interesting to me, is that they weren't as tight-knit of friends as they are now. And all of this has kind of brought them closer together, the group, because the one person that they were all commonly friends with was Allie, but not necessarily friends with each other. So maybe that's why, because she had these these one-offs with each of them. But in the earlier seasons, it wasn't really the way it is now.
Which means it almost makes it harder. It almost probably makes Allie really want to be back and be a part of that, but also how hard it would be because they have each other.
Right.
And they feel like she's been gone, and to come back into that, I just don't know how that would actually mesh.
Yeah, and just everything that they've dealt with, and practically getting killed, their families being put in danger, and just everything that's been going on for this one person. And they have so many questions because she kept so many things from them. She definitely had this double life. She had her life with Cece, she had her life with them, and it was pretty much, she wasn't very nice really to any of them. So,
and now they're really great friends, and they love and support each other and trust each other to an extent.
To an extent, yeah.
So now, do you think Allie's mom was keeping that the basement for Allie, or was she keeping it for Cece?
I think it could be either.
I think it could. I'm leaning more towards Allie.
Because she wasn't freaked out. Remember, we talked about this last week. I was like, she's not even scared. She knows who's coming.
She thinks they left. She's not even going to call anybody. She has the whole house set back up like Allie never left. And I'm not 100%.
Obviously, she's not going to make a front door entrance to come to her room, so...
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% convinced that she actually has seen her.
Right.
But I think that she's kind of in that mindset that,
I don't think she would have came back to Rosewood if she didn't know Allie was alive.
Plus, that room of hers is still great looking.
Yeah.
It's ready. I mean, it's like her shrine to Allie. Who knows if she thinks Allie comes up at night and sleeps there.
Maybe. Like I said, I don't know if she's actually seen, if they've interacted at all. I don't know if I believe that yet.
Right.
But I think she feels like she's still there, and she said as much.
And I still don't know
she says she swears she's seen her.
Right. But I still don't know if I believe that Allie's alive either. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt just because that's huge.
Just to back up for a second, we were saying that Allie is like not the nicest girl to everyone, and that's what's so surprising about them being together, her and Ezra, is that he always seemed to like the sweet side of Arya. That was like one of the appeals, and to see that he was like with this other girl who was obviously not so nice.
I hate it.
It's so
but
it's so
disturbing. Ezra's not what we thought he was either. He's not the sweet, gentle person. He's trying to run these girls off the road and murdering people and locking them in boxes and sending coffins.
You don't see him really hurting Arya that much.
That's what I've said all along, is that Arya's the one that is getting the least.
But do you think he actually cared about her? That makes me so sad. If I were her, and I'm going to eventually find out, that's the ultimate betrayal, more than Toby and Spencer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing that's so creepy about it is, like, he would sit and watch old movies with her at his apartment, and, like, he knew that.
Well, maybe she was a filler for Allie.
But he was, like, sending. That's what's so weird is I feel like at points in his apartment, she was getting messages from A. Like, I feel like that's a thing that definitely happened.
Yeah, well, there was a group of them. Yeah. There was a group of them doing it, and he has, like, the whole, one-stop control center.
Yeah, it was like mission control.
He probably had them, like, scheduled out on when to go.
Like, on timers.
Yeah, it probably was.
So devastating.
Remember
it's insane.
during the Mona's pajama birthday party, when Arya was making out with Ezra in the car, and then someone came and wrote on the car. Did they write from A, or do you guys remember?
Yeah, that's a great question.
We'll have to go back and look.
Yes.
All right, you guys, go back to that episode. Let us know. Well, let's take a second we want to thank you guys for all of your comments. Make sure to please go to iTunes, download the podcast, rate and comment. Let us know your theories and what you think about Ezra being A. I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. And also on YouTube. And thanks again for everyone that tweets at us and all that. I wanted to give a shout out to, I think it was Jen D. Holt that sent us that picture, which is Jen D. Haunt. I'm sorry. That's like, so thank you again for that. That was really awesome. And to see it in the episode today just, made it more real that could have absolutely been Allie as the clown or the mime. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, so I apologize. I'm trying to put all the pieces together in my head. Like, how does this all fall together, and why was this guy so obsessed with this kid?
So
kid. Obsessed.
Good word.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird.
Well, I mean, he's old. Like, he's older, but I mean, it's not like he's 40.
I know, but it's still like his obsession with these younger girls.
I mean, when you fall in love, the heart wants the heart wants, right?
You fall in love with one younger girl, and you can give some justification for that, why that could happen, but he clearly had a pattern at this point, like, of going after these younger.
And also, why does he want to get back with, like, find Allie so desperately? Like, what happened in that relationship to make him this crazy dude?
Well, it could just be as simple as he thought he killed her and he didn't. So now he's got to find her. If maybe he doesn't know 100% if she is alive, and that's what he needs to find out. For all I know, for all we know, he thinks he really killed her, and he's just trying to make sure that it's done, because it still could implicate him, and then it all falls down.
I need it to all fall down.
I'm like going back to the video that, remember, they found of Allie in the woods.
Yeah, talking to Ezra. Remember, we thought it was Ian, though.
It was. He was on the video. He picks up the camera. It shows his face, and then they drop it.
So maybe he was freaking out. She was cheating on him with Ian.
Yeah.
And then Ezra comes and smacks her across the head.
Do you remember when she was briefly with somebody else in the high school? I'm blanking on his name. It was like not a football player, but like Arya dated somebody else, and then Noel, exactly.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were talking about Allie. Sorry.
And Noel suddenly disappeared from the scene.
Yeah, where is Noel?
Yeah.
Noel was the one that rode on the car. Remember, in the woods at Mona's party? Mm-hmm. But I can't remember if he, rode it from A or he just rode it.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Because Ezra was in the car.
I'm now going to have to go back and pull up every Arya Ezra
We have to go back and rewatch everything with a new...
These writers, though, to take it back to season 1 all the way up to now, and to have it all fit together, who knows if they even knew that this was how it was going to play out. You know what I mean? That Ezra's going to be A. But it all flows. But it's like almost anyone could be A. So let's just make that happen throughout the season.
Well, I feel like they had all these puzzle pieces as writers, and they were able to piece it all together. And then that final piece is like, who is ultimately A? And it could have been. We've pointed at throughout our after show a number of different people that could be A, and to have it be someone that was that close to the girls is crazy, because we thought, maybe it'll be someone who we saw back in season 1 once or something like that, and to have it be this person who's been in their lives so intimately is
But do you think he's the ultimate A, though? I feel like there are so many questions with Melissa and other people that
I hope not. I hope there's some reason why he's doing this, like we kind of saw with Toby, but I don't know how many times you can have that happen.
No, it's not going to happen like that.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard to wrap your
don't
head
know.
around.
But yeah, but all of the different pieces, just with the different side stories that we have with the Toby's mom, with Melissa and with Jenna and the fire, and you know all of those different things. Why it doesn't fit right now for me. I'm gonna have to kind of process this and figure it out.
Yep, it's not fitting with me. Yep, not at all. I've got to figure this
And how
out.
does Shauna fit in with all of this? Because she came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden how much does she know? Does she have an older sister that was part of this crew? Like, what's going on?
So, Shauna was in Wren's house, right?
Yes, because Spencer went over looking for Wren to try to find out where Mona was.
You just see a lot of bags packed.
Bags and boxes. Like, the house is pretty much packed up, and then she sees Shauna. Well, she sees Jenna's car. She doesn't actually see Shauna, but we do.
And then you see labels to London, so Wren's house in care of Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
So is Wren in on this? Do we think he's...
I think so.
Well,
from
yeah,
last
remember
week.
from when he made that phone call? Absolutely. He's definitely part of it in some way, and I think that's how they had access to Radley so easily. So somehow...
Same age.
Yeah. And it could have to do, I wonder if his connection with Ezra goes with his family, and like his family money and how that goes and where they're...
Yeah,
you know, wherever they are.
another generational thing. Maybe their parents knew each other. We just don't. There's so many.
We haven't seen Wes and Diane in a long time.
Yeah.
So
True.
Ezra's family, we need to figure out what's happening there too.
Yeah.
Will they be surprised, or do they know it? I just have so many questions. I know I keep bouncing out these questions, but I'm just like, I need answers, and apparently you girls are the people that I'm going to ask all these questions.
We're not going to be able to answer them.
Well, do you
tell
believe
that.
Mrs. Grumwald's story? Do you believe that Allie was calling her from that creepy sorority room, looking for help? Like, what was she doing there in the first place? Why was she always? She was just always there with Cece.
I think maybe she was just in hiding
by
herself.
See, I feel like Mrs. Grumwald has more secrets. Like it's not what it seems so far. Like Allie may be alive. I'm on your team with that, but I don't know that her whole story checks out.
Right.
That she
And how
saved
can
Allie from the grave, and then she like comes out from the hospital and she's gone. Who knows?
Here's the
Why
thing.
would she not have taken her in? Like, why would she have left her in the car?
I don't
That's
get
weird.
it. Slash, why do you? It's all about feelings for her. She feels Allie. She feels the man.
If Ravenswood is so small and everyone knows one another, and obviously if someone enters town, they know, she knows because they reported to her. How can you have Ezra set up his corporation in Ravenswood and she has no idea, or
Well,
no
she
one
has
does?
to be. He has to be part of that town somehow. There has to be some.
So maybe
kind
that's his grandma.
Maybe.
I'm hoping that we'll see him on the spin-off in
And they
some
were
capacity.
holding Allie hostage. Because we see those scratches on the door when Spencer goes inside that room.
Right, somebody trying to get out of there. I don't think it was somebody that wanted to be in there and was hiding. It looked like somebody that was trapped.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe that was the only way to get like food and water was to use that phone and call. She could have been a prisoner in there. Ew. Creepy. That's a good theory.
We have a
though.
lot of a lot of predictions on this
We'll have to
episode
see.
because honestly, we don't have a clue.
Yeah.
At all.
It's just so much.
Such a game changer. I think I tweeted it out earlier. Like, it changes everything about how I feel about the show. Everyone, like, we say it all the time that everyone's a suspect, but now it's just ridiculous.
What do you guys think about Paige?
I think she's in on this. I said it the whole time. I was like,
It's just like too freaky, like the way she's acting around Emily.
She knows more than she's saying.
Yes.
but
I
also
think
you're
that
safe with me, Emily. You're safe with me. Like she says that a lot, and I'm just thinking. And she keeps saying, "Well, come over to my house. Stay with me. Stay with me." It's like a little too much to where you kind
Like
of are
trying to
skeptical.
separate the girls so they're not all together at once.
I don't know. I just think it's like something to be skeptical of because when you're that forceful of getting someone to come hang out with you, there's other stuff going on outside.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe
No.
she's trying to separate them to seriously
And protect
to
Emily.
protect Emily. But I think I agree with you that she does know more than she's admitting.
Which
Took
yeah,
the words
could
right
be
out of my
good,
mouth.
could be not so good.
Because I think her and Shauna had a thing. Mm-hmm. So she still talks to Shauna whether she admits it or not, but I think she's getting information from them, from that side, which we don't know if Shauna, Melissa, and Jenna are on the same side as Team A or Team Ezra. So they all have information. I think they're all ahead of the girls.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. But then we have to go back and look at the people that we lost throughout the seasons, the people that were killed, like what was there tied to Ezra, what was going on with that.
And she didn't seem so shocked when they found Jenna in the river.
True. In the lake.
The lake. So maybe it was just told. Like they told her it was going to happen. And they knew about it. I'm not sure.
I've never truly trusted her character either. Like there's definitely something kind of off, and I don't think she's as protective of Jenna as she appears to be.
I also want to.
Oh, I was talking about Paige.
Oh,
Paige, remember when her and Emily were talking when they were going to sleep? Paige didn't seem like concerned that this just happened in, her aunt's house.
She doesn't really seem concerned that much when Emily talks about any of that. And maybe that's just her reaction, just the way that she talks about it. Maybe she just doesn't have like a hysterical reaction.
She just knows a lot. She knows a lot, people.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily believe she's a bad guy, but I think she does know more.
I now want to go and match, like, even down to like handwriting. Like, you know how on the notes, like on the board, there were all those notes with like, she'll be here at 8 o'clock. And like, did we ever see Ezra's handwriting before? Like, I need to go back and like figure all this out. I'm so upset.
I know.
I'm sure Arya has some love notes.
Yeah.
Or the book that he gave her.
writing on the board. Writing on the chalkboard just to
see. But the book he gave her has a note from him in there.
That's true.
Now, how are they going to figure this out? How are they going to get closer? How is Allie going to lead them if it's Allie? A lot of people were tweeting and saying that they're so sure that Allie had a twin, and that's the whole situation.
I mean, it's a plausible idea.
It is.
I don't know. How do you have a twin that no one ever knows about?
Well,
Switched at birth, that kind of thing.
Well, that
ABC Family running throughout.
I mean, we saw tonight that we thought there was, or allegedly, one red coat, and there were 2 red coats. Like, it is possible to switch. Like, I mean, even when you're like a baby on a TV show, to be totally realistic about it, like they use 2 twins, but I mean, switch about. I don't know. It's hard to.
We've had comments on, our YouTube page, people letting us know that. About the book and how in the book that Allie has a twin. So it might be, they might be using that twist and putting it in the show. A lot of people feel like the show is completely separate than the book and they're 2 different stories. But you never know. I mean, they've taken everything else based on the book.
I was just about to say, we've seen a number of those storylines mirror the book in some capacity. They take different twists and turns, but somehow we do get back to the book.
Right. So maybe they're going to put their own take on it. That could be it, and see. If it's not going to go exactly, it could have
something to look forward to.
Absolutely. I don't like. What else can we talk about? Toby and his mom. I mean, I really do. Poor Toby. # poor Toby. And it's sad. But a lot of people were leaving comments and discussing about how even if he does find out the truth, it's not really going to make a difference. So why torture yourself and
Which
get
I think
involved
he realized,
with it?
and that's what he said to Spencer. He said, "You know what? Let's just."
And I'm glad to see him come to that realization. He just needed some time.
Right.
To himself to kind of go through everything and think about it. And it's, it's sad. It's a terrible situation, and I don't think knowing the truth or not knowing is going to make it any better.
Right.
But so hopefully they can.
I'm glad they're all coming together. We'll see what happens Halloween.
Well,
2 hours.
Ezra's in the picture for Halloween again.
Of course.
October 22nd.
Yeah, back in the Halloween episode.
All right.
Like, how does he end up there? Like, I can't wait until that episode to find out. How does Ezra come to save the day and make the girls believe that
I know
he's really there to save them?
Or do they figure more out?
We shall see.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if I can wait till a whole
I feel
2 months,
like
it feels like.
It's going to be an ongoing Twitter conveation about so many theories. I need to go back and just rewatch. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say about how.
Question, guys.
Yeah.
What was his name? Travis.
Right.
Was he the one that? No, he was not. I couldn't have.
Did you answer your own question?
I'm like, what?
I was gonna say, was he the one that Caleb and Toby confronted about the plane?
No.
It looked like him, but then I was like, no,
No, it
because
wasn't
Toby
him.
saw him.
Yeah.
And he winked at him.
That's just because I think they're friends now.
Yeah.
Because they
Well, because he
supported
did the
Hanna.
right thing, and so I think he's cool. There.
No, I was like, well,
yeah.
he would have remembered his face. But
Yeah, but no, I don't.
Definitely
we haven't
different.
seen him
The
before.
other dude had blonde hair,
Yeah.
and he ran like a little girl. All right.
I don't know, but we're still in shock. We'll continue the debates and with all the theories and trying to tie everything back together on Twitter and on iTunes and YouTube. So make sure to go and follow us there. You want to do some news and gossip?
Absolutely.
All right.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So let's start out with something I've been talking about, I feel like, all season long, which is Lucy Hale, of course, is making a country record. She's super excited about it. I know Whitney and I are also huge country fans, so we're excited about it. And she is finally ready to release some music. She'll be releasing the first single this fall, and we can expect the full record in early 2014. So that'll be really fun to hear. I feel like she's been recording in Nashville forever. They say she's been working on it for about 1.5 years. So
Awesome.
crazy. And also, we know that Tyler Blackburn, of course, is moving on to Ravenswood, and they've already started filming that show. It's not filming here in LA. It's going to be filming in Louisiana, or is filming in Louisiana, I should say. And he tweeted to Ashley Benson, who, of course, is like his best friend and possible girlfriend. It's kind of rumored. We're not sure about that one. Miss my little bee. And she responded back, I miss you too. The video you gave me gives me the biggest lump in my throat, XO. So
Cute.
they're adorable.
Besties.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully I'll get a chance to hang out soon when he's back from filming Ravenswood. Also, a little Ravenswood casting news here. Justin Bruning, who of course was a recurring character on Grey's Anatomy, will be in the Pretty Little Liars spinoff. He is cast as Benjamin Price, a teacher at the local high school.
Oh,
so
no.
Ezra number 2.
I was just about to say, yeah. So hopefully he doesn't quite go the way that Ezra has. That's crazy. And also, if you can't get enough Jake and can't wait till October 22nd, because I don't think we've seen the end of Jake.
I don't think not yet.
No. Ryan Guzman has started production on Step Up 5, and he also has a new... Can't get enough of Step Up. Yes, exactly.
I will be there.
He is an incredible dancer, and now we know, like,
Exactly.
Yeah. And he also has a new short film coming out.
Awesome.
So yeah, lots of Pretty Little Liars news and gossip there.
Awesome.
All right, so what about predictions for this Halloween episode?
Ooh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So it's going to take place in creepy, creepy Ravenswood. So what do you guys think?
I'm speechless.
It's too hard to predict because there's so many ways that it could go.
Do you think somebody's going to die?
No.
On this Halloween episode, hey, who knows? We lost Garrett last time.
I think Mona might come to save them.
We'll have to see more of her for sure. I have kind of an overarching prediction, though, because I think Ezra will be found out, and I think...
As early as the Halloween episode?
No,
you think? Oh, okay.
this is overarching. This could be the end of the season, but
Okay.
I do think he's going to be found out, and I think he's not going to make it.
Oh.
Ooh, so
We could see the end of Ezra. I don't know. It just seems like bad things happen to these people who do bad things.
Maybe.
Melissa might come back too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Be good to see her. I want to learn a little bit more about Melissa.
I agree with you that I think that he will be found out, but my prediction's more on the
Love level.
Arya, I think, is going to be devastated, and I'm curious to see who's going to be there to pick up the pieces. Is it Jake? Is it her family? Who comes in, or the girls? And there's so many options.
Well, her family's never around, so
Her mom is taking a one long vacation.
She's gone for the summer.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see
back in
how
school.
she...
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was just thinking that, too. It's not
yeah,
the summer.
how
yet.
she handles it.
Or does she end up in Radley because she doesn't know?
I don't know. I feel like maybe she'll just be like, oh.
I think she's already
tried to make her way
Exactly.
getting over him, so I wonder if she could have a different reaction than
I would like to see Jake be the one to find him out and see how that plays out.
I like that
I
prediction.
don't know that she'd trust him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder how that would play out, and I would like to kind of see more tension between the two of them, because I think it was a little bit telling at the dance where he
Yes.
noticed Ezra there watching her
Right.
and confronted him.
Well, also, Ezra, or I should say Ian Harding, did an interview that I mentioned a few weeks ago in News and Gossip, and he said that this season was going to be, like, mind-blowing and crazy, and we just, like, hadn't even seen what was to come. And now that we know this fact, that interview seems so much more enlightening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to piggyback off of what you said about, or what you guys said about Ezra, Arya finding out about Ezra, but I think Caleb might end up killing him. That's why he has to hide.
Oh, he's the one who truly protects the girls so far.
That could be a good reason on why he has to stay.
That'd be a very good one.
Yeah, because he's gonna hide out there with Allie.
In the creepiest
headquarters.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good
lots
stuff.
and lots and lots to think about. We got to go back and revisit all of these episodes and tie this all together. Shocking but amazing episode.
Worth the wait.
Still, definitely worth the wait. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Go to iTunes, download the podcast, rate and comment. Also, you can leave comments on YouTube, and you can follow me at Kellie with an IE079.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
And I'm on Twitter at Whitney Lane Fern.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Real Emma K.
And we'll see you guys in October.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.